Welcome to the Note Nuggets podcast, where you can learn how to become the bank, build wealth, and accumulate streams of income perfect for your savings or IRAs. You'll hear from industry experts, seasoned veterans, and everyday investors. Our goal is to teach you how to invest in notes, one nugget of knowledge at a time. Here's your host, Kevin Galang.
Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Note Nuggets podcast, where you learn how to turn other people's debt into income for your savings or IRA. I find the market for cryptocurrencies highly fascinating for a couple of different reasons. One of which is the technology behind blockchain and cryptocurrencies and how it can be used as a legit form of currency, hence cryptocurrency. I've had conversations with industry experts in the note investing space that have speculated that crypto will be used to pay for mortgages instead of cash. So there is a legitimate use case for it. That's not out of the realm of reality. Now, to be honest with all of you, I am highly ignorant to crypto, so I won't talk much about it because I don't know much about it. And I would feel immoral to share investment ideas with you for something I know nothing about, that I haven't spent any time studying, nor have I spoken to any experts about. Which leads me to my other fascination with cryptocurrency today, and that is the mania around the entire thing. It seems like everybody and their mother is investing in crypto, which I have nothing against, of course, but I think there's a huge sense of FOMO, or fear of missing out, that's floating around. You see your friend doing it, maybe you should do it. And then there's this idea of just throwing all your money at it for the sake of memes. There's meme crypto, coins that were almost started as a joke. And like I said, people are just investing, or I would caution to call it investing. They're throwing money at these meme coins, posting it on the internet for the clout, for the likes. It's crazy. It's bonkers. It blows my mind. And then there's also social media influencers who are promoting different coins and sometimes even other investments. They know nothing, not even a single thing about it. And usually, these influencers are paid a fee for promoting said cryptocurrency or other asset class and aren't usually held accountable if the investment or cryptocurrency goes belly up. So if they convince you enough to invest all of your money into some, let's call it Note Nugget coin, hypothetically speaking, and you lose all your money, well, I'm not held liable because I put a disclaimer out there. That happens quite often in today's day and age. It's terrifying, but fascinating that people keep falling for it. Personally, I think the influencers are fueling the mania even more because of their impressionable fan base. It's madness, and that's really the only way I can describe it. Now, I don't recommend taking financial advice from someone who isn't in the space. Hell, I don't provide you with financial advice. I'm just sharing the facts about note investing, which is what I invest in. I will be the first person to tell you to do more research. Even if you booked a time on my calendar, by the way, at notenuggets.com/contact, and you said, Kevin, I want to invest with notes. The first thing I'm going to tell you is, why do you want to invest in notes? Let's talk about whether or not notes are a fit for you. I want you to feel comfortable in what it is you're going to invest in. Do your research on it. That applies to any asset class that you're going to invest in. But all of this, it got me thinking about notes and how they're affected by the market. Now, when I say the market, I mean the real estate market, the stock market, and the economy in general. A huge advantage of notes is the predictability of your income. Remember, a note is a legal contract between the borrower and the lender. So for a set number of months, the borrower agrees to pay the lender the principal and interest amount. It's written in the contract. That's what they agreed to pay you. Now, assuming the borrower never defaults and holds the note for the entire duration of its amortization schedule, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years, whatever the amount that was originally agreed upon, assume that it performs for all of those months, then the lender can confidently predict that they will receive the monthly payment that was agreed upon at the origination of the mortgage. So if it's 5 months, whether it's month 5 or month 328, the lender should receive that monthly mortgage payment. The advantage here is that the cash flow is consistent and predictable. And of course, as the lender, there are no maintenance worries or concerns about tenant turnover. Regardless of how poorly the stock market is performing, that monthly income from the note stays the same. Again, assuming the note continues to perform and the borrower is just making those principal and interest payments. This is also true when compared to the real estate market. If the local real estate market plummets, the lender is still legally owed the monthly mortgage payment. So in theory, if the borrower's house goes underwater, meaning they owe more than what the house is worth, they are still legally required to pay you. From the lender's perspective, the downside of the real estate market crashing is that their equity protection diminishes too. That's why I refuse to buy a performing note with more than an 80% loan to value. After you consider things like closing costs and realtor fees, that 20% equity will disappear faster than you realize. But what about the flip side of things? When everything is going well, when the markets are bullish, let's talk about that. While the note is not affected by the downsides of the real estate markets and the stock markets, it also does not get to be a part of the upside of the real estate and stock markets. If all the stocks in the stock market appreciate, the note's monthly income does not change. It doesn't matter if GameStop or AMC go to the moon, baby. Even if Apple doubles its market cap, the monthly income is going to be what it was when it was first originated. Now, if you have a rental property and the surrounding real estate market is hotter than a Florida summer, then you have that advantage of appreciation. You can sell that property because it's now worth more than what it was when you purchased it, and then buy another rental. There are a lot of different options available to you. For the lender, it doesn't matter. That doesn't affect them. The lender gets what they signed up for, that monthly mortgage check. Because the lender owns the debt and not the asset, they don't get to cash in on the appreciation of the borrower's property. It doesn't matter if the borrower's property appreciates by 50% in a year. The note will still generate that consistent passive income. Even if the borrower sells while the market is scorching hot, the lender will only get paid the remaining balance of the note. So let's revisit the question. Are notes immune to the market? Immune is a strong word that sounds great for a title for the podcast. And if you're listening to it because of the title, fantastic, it worked. But because their income is unaffected by the performance of the market, I'd argue that notes are immune to a certain degree. Of course, this is all based on the huge assumption that the note is going to perform during the entirety of its amortization period. From origination to the last payment, the borrower continues to pay. That's what my assumption is. The drawback is that you don't get to cash in on the frenzy when everything is skyrocketing to record highs. For me, I like the predictability and cash flow. My investors do too. Assuming all things go well, we can confidently calculate our yield on our investment with a performing note. We can track how much is left on the note to the nearest cent, and we have a strong idea of what our monthly income will be with the note. Look, I've covered a lot here, and if you have any questions about note investing and want to learn how my investors and I are creating cash flow while building wealth at the same time, book a time on my calendar at notenuggets.com/contact. Lastly, don't forget to leave the Note Nuggets podcast a review on Apple Podcasts so that we can introduce more people into being the bank and stop them from being the landlord. The more like-minded people we get together, the more we can accomplish together as well. Until next time, everybody, thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of the Note Nuggets podcast. Be sure to subscribe to the show to get access to additional weekly value nuggets and get notified with episode updates. To subscribe, all you have to do is head over to subscribe.notenuggets.com. If you have any questions about this episode or note investing, book a time on Kevin's calendar at contact.notenuggets.com. We'll see you next week with another note nugget to add to your tool belt.